we have 4 collared dogs pretty much through the valley, and what we'll do is we go out with a 3-prong antenna and basically type in our frequency to each dog that we have, and we'll try and do that enough times so that we can get 3 bearings with the compass and try and get, well, ideally you want to get all 3 points to match at the same spot, but usually what happens is you'll get a triangle, and that will give you a general area, usually within a couple meters, maybe 100 meters of where that animal is. And you can tell from the radio telemetry if they're active or if they're inactive. If the tone that you're hearing is constant throughout the period that you're tracking, then you know they're inactive. If the tone is kind of getting louder and softer periodically and not at a regular pace, then you know that they're active and moving around.
If you came to this park before the wolves were introduced, you could probably watch a bunch of coyotes on the carcass pretty much acting oblivious, head buried in the meat, just eating, eating, eating. Now you watch these coyotes, especially at a carcass where there's definitely a high wolf risk because you're usually around. These guys will take a couple bites, look up, look around, take a couple bites, look up, look around. I mean, they're very vigilant and they're constantly on the lookout, and those who aren't, I'm sure, are weeded out pretty quickly. And then even in their day-to-day life in their territories, there has been an increase in vigilance as well. So it's pretty much common sense. They just have to watch their butts a lot more than they used to and be a lot more aware of what's going on. The coyote numbers were cut in half, but it seems to have pretty much stabilized the last 3 or 4 years now. I think some of our alphas have gotten pretty good at knowing where the wolves are and knowing how to stay alive. The other thing that is significant is that raising pups in the Lamar has definitely become a riskier business. The young coyotes have to learn quickly or they'll be gone, and there's a time period, you know, when they're in the den as pups where they're very susceptible, and if the wolves come across that den, they will more than likely try to dig it up and try to kill the pups. One thing I think we've seen is the existence of rock dens, or dens under rocks, some kind of hard substrate instead of just dens in some loose soil in the ground. Still not 100% defense, but maybe a bit of a deterrent, and there has been an increase in that.
Now, so many times wildlife populations can only be explained by these invaluable long-term studies. A great example is there's often 5 or 6 things that can affect individual population, like climate. We're all familiar with climate change. Well, some of these patterns occur at 5 and 10-year scales. And what can you really find out about a long-lived mammal species like the coyote when they live for 10 or 15 years? What can you really say with a 2 or 3 year study? Not much.
And that's the thing that amazes me the most about them too, actually, is just watching them. You can just see their intelligence and their adaptability in their day-to-day life. I mean, they're just, I don't know. To me, you know, you get a lot of people coming here to watch the wolves, and the wolves are magnificent, absolutely. But in the day-to-day life, watching coyotes is just, they do so much more, and there's just so much more to their existence as far as what they do on a day-to-day basis. The wolves seem to kill an ungulate, eat, and sleep, and that's the extent of it. And that's awesome, and I know people, that's the big draw to the park, other than bears. But I don't know, if I had to pick watching coyotes every day versus watching wolves every day, I would certainly take the coyotes.